Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. Today's video is something that I've been wanting to put out for a long time because I wear my false lashes in a certain way where a lot of people are asking me all the time if I have lash extensions, and I do not. I've never had them before. I'm not really open to trying them just because of the reoccurring expense. So today I want to share with you how I apply my false lashes and the products that I use and everything like that so that you guys can achieve the same type of look if that's what you're going for. Now I just want to make a disclaimer, I'm not a professional makeup artist. I'm not like anything special. I'm your average Joe, so hopefully if I can do it, you can do it, and hopefully I'll have some tips to share with you that will make it easier for you guys. But something about false lashes that is so important to keep in mind is that practice makes perfect, and you're not going to be perfect on your first try. I certainly wasn't perfect. The first time I tried false lashes, they were the wrong kind of glue, and I applied them wrong, and I literally was like, well, I can't do this, I'm never doing it again. And then here we are. I wear them all the time, sometimes daily. So if I can do it, you can do it. So before we get into it, please give this video a thumbs up if you want to see more how-to videos, and subscribe to my channel if you don't want to miss another upload. And let's get started. So I have my handy dandy lash plate with me, which is where I put all of my used lashes if I'm going to reuse them. So I'll stick them to the plate when I'm done wearing them, and I'll bring them back upstairs and I will reuse them on another day because expensive lashes are not really meant to be worn once, in my opinion. If you can reuse them, you should reuse them. Also, if you do reuse them, they will go on easier the second, third, fourth time until they are no longer usable. So I love a reused lash. So the style of lash that you pick is going to be really important depending on your level of skill. If you're really skilled at applying lashes, then you can pretty much go with any style of lash as long as you know the techniques and how to put them on. But if you are a beginner, I would recommend going with something like an Ardell wispy or demi wispy. And then if you want to bump that up a little bit, if you start getting good at applying Ardell lashes, my favorite Ardell lashes are the Ardell Studio Effects wispies and the Studio Effects demi wispies, which are a little bit more dramatic and they have a little bit more flair to them. But today I'm going to be putting on the lashes that I have been putting on for probably 5 or 6 days in a row on my Instagram, and they are the new lashes from Huda Beauty, and they are the style Jacqueline, and they are Jacqueline Classic, I believe. Here is the Jacqueline Classic lash from Huda Beauty. I don't know if you guys can see, but it kind of starts off shorter and gets longer towards the end of the lash, which is my preferred style of lash. Lashes are definitely going to depend on your own eye shape. I kind of have a smaller almond shaped eye, so I like to have something wispy towards the end to kind of open and brighten my eyes and make them look a little bit bigger than they are. I tend to steer away from lashes that are so big that when I open my eyes they're going to touch my eyebrows, because I also like to wear sunglasses when I'm driving, and these and anything smaller than these don't affect my sunglasses. But if I have like a Vegas Nay Grand Glamour lash on or something very, very huge, it will bother me throughout the day. So the very first thing that you want to do once you have your lashes picked out, what lashes you think are going to work for your eyelid, I seriously recommend trimming off a little bit of the excess lash. A lot of people make the mistake of not trimming their lashes. It's like one of the hugest mistakes when you're applying falsies, because lashes in general are going to be too long for anybody. I mean, sometimes there will be a lash that I don't feel like I need to trim. Sometimes I can get away with the Ardell Demi Wispies without trimming them, but they always look better if I do trim them, and they stay on better. If a lash is too long for you, it's going to end up lifting in the corners. It's also going to poke in the corners and be very uncomfortable. So whether you're putting that on yourself or a client, it's very important to place it on your eye, make sure it fits, make sure it's not too long running over the corner of your eye, and give it a little trim before you even try to apply it. So I'm obviously on day 5 or 6 of wearing these, so they have already been trimmed. I like to trim them a little bit in the outer corner so that I can still see the layout of the lash. If you trim in the inner corner, sometimes it's going to make it hard for you later to decide which one goes on which eye. So I like to take just a millimeter, just a tiny bit off of the outer corner for my eye shape. So just for reference, these two lashes are the Jacqueline Huda Beauty lash. I have a pair of demi wispies from Ardell, and then I believe both of these are Studio Effects demi-wispies from Ardell. So that's like literally the most proof that you can get that those are the lashes that I wear. But right now these ones are my favorite, which is why I'm going to apply them today. So first things first, if you do have excess glue on your lashes, you're going to want to very gently pick that glue off. I'm going to spare you guys from seeing a close-up of this, but I'm just taking my tweezers. I have the Rubus Switzerland tweezers. They are my favorite tweezers, and I'm just going to very gently remove a little bit of that excess glue. You want to make sure that you don't rip out the thread from the lash. With most lashes, I believe they have this tiny thread running through the spine of the lash to hold it together. If you pull that out, you're going to completely ruin the lash. So a little technique I have to kind of prepare your lashes to fit your eye, whether they are brand new or you've already been wearing them, is after you clean off that little layer of glue, they should still be a little bit tacky enough to do this. I like to stick them to my fingers and wrap them around them so that they get a circular base. So I just stick it on my finger, and then I'm going to work on cleaning off the other lash, and then I'll put the other lash on there too, just for a few minutes while I'm getting ready to put them on. Also, this might be a little gross, but if you do leave a little bit of that glue on there from your previous application, sometimes it can actually make your lash go on a little bit easier the next time. And as I'm picking this off, I'll just give you guys a couple tips. If you are a beginner to applying lashes, but you're not a beginner to eyeliner, I highly recommend having a nice thick black wing if you're going to be applying lashes for the first time, because that really helps conceal your application. You can have a really poor application of lashes, and if you have a really nice wing liner, you might not even be able to see that you didn't apply it right. So while those are chilling on my finger and getting a little bit rounded and ready for application, I'm going to talk to you guys about lash glue. So my current favorite lash glue is from Duo. This is a brush-on lash glue. The one that I used to use is the classic Duo lash glue that is in a tube. I hate this. I don't know why I keep it around. I feel like it's so smelly. It's really, really messy. It just pops out of the tube and gets all over the place, and it does smell horrible. So this is what a lot of people use when they first start applying lashes, but I feel like this Duo brush-on clear adhesive is the best for beginners. And then another lash glue that I really, really enjoyed, but unfortunately I am allergic to one of the ingredients, is the House of Lashes brush-on lash glue. Now this stuff is like cement, so if you try it and you're not allergic to it, it is really, really amazing. Like, this will keep your lashes on through like a tornado. But I'm allergic to it. Every time I use it, I get a burning sensation on my eyelid and I get puffy red marks at the end of the night, but I'll still use it for special occasions because it works so good. So that's a little bit disturbing and self-destructive, but it's the truth. So I wanted to share with you guys the top lash glues that I've used. So what I like to do, because I actually have stick straight lashes, I like to just skip over curling them. I don't think curling them is the best idea when I'm applying falsies. And I apply a thin coat of mascara to my top lashes so that they will blend nicely. Also, so that I can see my lash line clearly when I go to apply the lashes. But if you do have very curly lashes, I do find that that makes the application very difficult. So what I would do is brush from the top down on your client or on yourself and get those lashes to kind of straighten out a little bit before you apply the lash. You can always go back in and apply mascara to make the lashes go back up. But if they are very curly, it can kind of clash with the false lashes. So once the mascara is on, it's actually time to apply the glue to the lash. Actually, most of the time while my mascara is being put on, I will have the glue sitting on the lash, because you do need to wait about 30 seconds or more to apply your lashes once the glue is on, because it needs to be really tacky. Again, one of the biggest mistakes is applying lashes with wet glue or completely dry glue. So you gotta find that sweet spot in the middle. Honestly, sometimes for me, it's a minute or more goes by before I apply the lashes, because I need it to be almost dry for it to apply perfectly. So I'm just going to brush on a thin layer and make sure it's coating the entire spine of the lash, top and bottom. And you want to make sure that those corners have a nice drip of glue on them. You don't want to leave those bare. But if you guys do fail with your application and the corners lift, you can go back in later and figure that out. So here you guys can see both sides of the lash have a nice coating of glue on the spine. If you guys don't have a brush-on glue, something I actually learned from one of my friends is to use a bobby pin to brush on the lash glue. I never squirt lash glue directly out of a tube onto the lashes because a lot of the time you will get too much, which is going to make it not dry down fast enough. It's also going to make for a really messy application, and I hate it when the lashes stick to each other. So I'm really hoping that you guys are going to be able to see this application. I'm going to try to talk you through it. It is really hard to do close-up things on camera when I'm going to be looking into my own mirror, but I'm going to do my best to do it so that you guys can see it. Something so funny is that there's actually lash glue in my lashes from the last time that I wore them. So you guys see how the tweezer is right in the middle of the lash? That is the first point of the lash we want to poke down onto the eyelid. So I'm just gonna go from above, and I'm just gonna touch the middle of the lash. If you guys can see, the outer corner is still raised, the middle is touching, and the corner is touching. So what I like to do is grab that outer corner, lift it, and wiggle it down until it is touching the base of the lash line. And then because the landing was perfect, I'm going to take these clean tweezers and I'm going to smush my real lashes with the false lashes. And if you don't feel comfortable using tweezers, if they make your eyes uncomfortable, you can use your fingers or you can use a plastic pair of lash applicators. I fondle my eyes because of contacts every single day, so tweezers don't bother me at all, but you do need to be careful. So again, gripping it in the middle of the lash with a clean tweezer, going down from above, pressing it right in the middle, leaving it for a second, grabbing that outer corner, pushing it down. This one, the inner corner did not connect, so I need to grab the inner corner, push it down, close your eyes, check the lash line, and then once it's there, mush all the lashes together. My tweezers are getting a little sticky, so they're wanting to remove the lash, so I'm going to clean them off. So I'm mushing, mushing, mushing. You want to make sure that none of your lashes are poking downwards. And because you have a nice little coat of mascara, that kind of acts like a glue for your natural lashes to stick to your falsies. I think it's so important to make sure that there's a little coat of mascara on them. If you just apply lashes without any mascara, again, I feel like your natural lashes will clash with your falsies. So once the lashes are on, if I see any little pieces of glue in the lash or anything that stands out and makes them look false, I hit it with a liquid liner. Now, next step I take is to kind of avoid seeing anything from below. So if anybody just happens to see you open your eyes super wide and they see that there is a little bit of separation or anything with your real lashes, I like to take my Marc Jacobs black highliner and I like to tightline my upper lash line. And while yes, it might be obvious that these are not my natural lashes, a lot of people think it's lash extensions. I don't know why that matters, but it just looks a little bit more natural and real than a really dramatic pair of false lashes that might be applied the wrong way. And the very last step I take is I take the exact same black mascara that I took before, and I just hit my natural lashes. I don't go up the entirety of the lash because I want that to look wispy. I don't want it to look chunky, but I want to make sure that that black is covering every real lash that I have. You can also use this to grip those tiny baby lashes that are usually in the corner of your eye and are clear, and this will also give you a more fluid line. It won't look like there's a false lash just placed on your eyelid. And then that is the finished look, you guys. Sometimes I will add a lower lash mascara, sometimes I don't. Right now I don't feel like it because I feel like my lashes look so big and my eyes look so open, so I prefer to leave it like this. But that is exactly what I do with all of my lashes to make them look as natural or as real or flawlessly applied as I can. So again, I think it's really important not to be hard on yourself if you don't get this perfect the first, second, or third time around. You will realize that you're starting to get better at it as you start practicing and applying more techniques. If you just go in blind not knowing how to apply lashes, that's when you run into problems. So I really hope that this video helped you guys out with some tips and tricks that I use. Thank you guys so much for watching and for hanging out with me. I look forward to talking to you guys down in the comments. If you have any tips of your own or anything that has made your lash application so much easier, please leave that down below for me and for each other. I hope you all have an amazing day, and hopefully I will see you guys all in my next video. Bye.